Lawmakers advanced a proposal that would punish nonprofit owners who own homes or apartments deemed unsafe after our Fox 8 Defenders reports exposed what residents call dangerous conditions inside their homes.
Tonight, one local lawmaker says she's hopeful to see the proposal put on a ballot this fall to one day achieve better living conditions for area residents.
Speaking before the House Ways and Means Committee Wednesday morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning to you.
State Rep Jason Hughes and New Orleans City Councilwoman Helena Moreno outlined why they believe House Bill 46, written by Hughes, is so desperately needed.
All citizens, Mr. Chairman, in this state deserve a quality place to live. And so what this bill does, it simply says that if you are a bad actor, you should not be rewarded by the taxpayers of Louisiana.
Fox 8 News in New Orleans has done a whole series of stories about this whole situation and followed this particular owner because he's had issues in other states as well.
They're talking about Global Ministries Foundation, or GMF, Preservation of Affordability Corporation. The CEO, Richard Hamlet, is an ordained minister. The religious nonprofit out of Tennessee owns the Willows in New Orleans East, Park Fontaine in Algiers, and the Belmont in Metairie.
As you know, you've been out there with us. You've listened to the residents, and they're pleas for help.
Our reports documented the living conditions at the three complexes.
They said that they were putting this up temporarily, and they were coming back to fix it, and this has been weeks and a Sunday.
They got water running here. They tore all this mold, all this water.
We've also shown how code enforcement violations racked up at the properties.
We have cited one property in particular called the Willows in New Orleans East. 40 times have they received guilty violations for code enforcement issues, life safety issues.
Because of its nonprofit status, GMF doesn't pay a dime in property taxes, so the code enforcement fines just add up. This proposal could change that. It would give the power to a local municipality, like the City Council, for example, to pull a nonprofit's tax-exempt status if it owns a home or apartment where people live and gets 3 or more code enforcement violations.
Once we put them on the tax rolls, if they have code enforcement liens, they can't pay their taxes until those liens are done.
After some discussion,
but I think this will start to send a message to those in the nonprofit area that I think you said it best of treating our people better with standards living.
The proposal passed out of the House Ways and Means Committee. Moreno says this constitutional amendment simply adds a tool in the toolbox for local leaders, trying to help people who sometimes can't move out of what could be a dangerous situation.
They're like trapped in these places where these owners are making, all this money off of them and trapping people in unsafe, unhealthy places. Like how more unchristian can that be, right?
Now that it's passed out of committee, the proposal moves to the full House for a vote. If it makes it out of the legislature, the constitutional amendment would be put on the October ballot for voters to decide. We've previously asked Richard Hamlet his thoughts on the proposal to pull the tax-exempt status of nonprofits. He told us that the exemption has no correlation to the property's physical or operating condition. He also told us he's put millions of dollars into his properties to improve them. If you've got a consumer complaint you'd like us to look into, call the Fox 8 Defenders, staffed with volunteers from the National Council of Jewish Women, or fill out our online complaint form.